Hey everybody, Jabman025 here. Today I'm taking a look at my 102nd Master Grade, the Shin Musha Gundam. The Shin Musha Gundam is essentially the RX-78-2 wearing samurai armor. This was an original design that kind of spawned its own little mini franchise in terms of the SD Gundams wearing samurai armor. You can see lots of kits and its own little mini franchise running. Here in North America, we primarily know this guy as the Boss from the original Dynasty Warriors Gundam 1. Now this is a custom kit for me. This is the standard red you get out of the box, no changes. And this is what I've turned it into, a ruby red metal flake. My idea behind this was make this kit as glossy and shiny as possible, make this sucker stand out. Because let's face it, how often do you get to do a glossy Gundam? The paint I used was a Testor's red metal flake, again, metallic, shiny, bright. The gold for this kit, there is actually two versions of this kit. The standard edition gets you this plain, bland gold, nothing fancy, nothing really pretty either. And you can get a special edition that has the electroplated Hyakushiki style gold. Now I went ahead and just repainted all this in a gold metal leaf. Very bright, very shiny, very metallic. Again from Testor's. This was a little on the clear side. Truthfully, if you do enough coats, it does just cover it completely. But I decided to do a silver base coat with this on top. So this is kind of a candy coat. Again, that's not a true clear yellow, but comes across that way. The other two colors I changed were the black becomes a metallic black. Again, shiny, metallic, bright. And some, but not all, of the gray parts become a gunmetal. Again, metal, metallic. I'm going for a very bright motif here. Black parts get a lot more shiny, a lot glossier. Again, Tamiya, metallic black. And the gunmetal, Tamiya, gunmetal. Keep it simple. Not a whole lot of gunmetal parts. Just a few of the frame parts, and there are a few gunmetal parts on the standard armor you see. Now, when you crack open this box, you will notice the frame looks very familiar to anyone who has built the One-Year War Gundam. It borrows heavily from the One-Year War Gundam. It's not identical, but it's very similar. You can see those parts for the leg there. That's pretty much identical. One kind of neat thing about this kit, you see any place for a pilot? Nope, me neither, because the Shin Musha Gundam is a sentient giant robot. No, seriously. You can see the gold parts here. They do a really good job of lining up the gold parts in different places. See that little circle there on the chest? That is kind of like a logo for this kit. It pops up in multiple different places. And yes, you have to do some painting here. You've got to fill in some black parts here, as so. Get in there with a fine point, either marker or real touch marker, or you can just do what I did and get a fine point paintbrush. Head, guess what? More painting. Those little binders on each side of the head, they give you stickers for those, and the stickers suck. You're pretty much going to have no choice but to paint this. Went in there with some silver and some clear yellow, got the gold around there. Like I said, the part already comes red, but all that gold you got to do. I went ahead and painted the eyes red on this kit. They give you stickers for green eyes, but I thought red would look better, and orange cameras for a change, which is different. The arms, standard 3-1 in the thumbs, hands, and you can see on the shoulders things start getting big and blocky. Nice big bend out of the elbow, but the shoulders start getting awkward and posing. This is going to be a theme for this kit. There is so much stuff on this kit, it does hamper posability. The leg, you can see very similar to the One-Year War Gundam with the piston action going there. That does look kind of neat. But you start adding all this stuff on there. On the ankles, on the legs. Pretty much everywhere there's part on top of part on top of part. It gets really neat and really detailed, but it, again, hampers posability a little bit. Because there's so much stuff going on. But you can see black, gold, another shield there on the knee, more painting. More detail work. Ankles, movable, but again hampered. Knees, pretty good, but again, kind of hampered. Now here's something kind of neat they did with the front skirt armor. When I was building this, I couldn't quite figure out, okay, where's the front skirt armor? I can't find it. They actually used 4 individual pieces, 5 if you count that little white pipe on the bottom, for the skirt armor. So you can kind of see little cracks through it. and they have these little pieces on the back that hold it all together. I was kind of worried about how strong they would be, but no, you're good. Once you have everything connected together, it's never coming apart. And you do have some little detailing to go in there, so bust out the Real Touch marker. And there you go. You got the Gundam all together. We got shields on the shoulders. We got gauntlets on the arms. We got more armor all over the place. Skirt armor. Again, lots of detail work needed. Bust out the Real Touch. All sorts of work to do here. And it gets very, very busy, this kit. You can see pipes running all over the crazy thing. Gold, red, black, all sorts of stuff going. Those shields on the shoulder can move out of the way, but they're still kind of awkward to pose around. You can get decent movement out of the legs and the hips and the elbows, but like I said, all this stuff does hamper things a bit. Now, they give you two options on the decals, and they're both really good options. You got the ultimate choice in model building, pinstripes or flames. Both look great, and I had a lot of debating to do to decide which one I wanted to use. They both look really good on this kit. But in the end, I went with the pinstripes. See the stripes on either shield, those extra stripes up here, you get that little symbol in the center. Shin Musha Gundam looks really good. I did use these little gold pieces or gold decals down here on the legs. They had a little bitty pinstripes there, but I thought that would look better. To each his own. Like I said, if you chose the flames, I wouldn't argue against you. They would look great too. They do give you a whole lot of sticker decals, but I decided to pass on this time. Mainly because I did such a super glossy kit, those stickers would really stand out and not look good. How did I do such a super glossy kit? Besides using the gloss paints, I top-coated everything multiple times with an ultra gloss clear coat. Again, how often do you get to do a glossy Gundam? This is the perfect opportunity. Now, accessories. You get the samurai sword, or katana if you want, rather. I'm not going to try and pronounce the Japanese names for all these weapons because I don't feel like butchering their language. I butcher the English language enough as it is. Anywho, we're going to call this the spear. You do get the brown piece there, but I have painted that to give it a more wood grain look. I'll talk about that in a second. Get a lance here. And again, some gold pieces on there. Not a lot of gold on there, but there is some. But you do get the chrome blades on all these weapons, so that's good. And you get this extended flintlock pistol thingamajigger. And again, this is where some of the gunmetal comes in for the pipes. Because they give the illusion of a gun here. And that's kind of neat looking. But I really repainted this to give it a wood grain look. This is a trick I've known, but I rarely get to use on Gundams, because how often do you get wood grain on Gundams? How do you do this? You get a thick coat bristle brush. The thicker the bristles, the better. And you get two colors of brown. It doesn't really matter what they are, as long as one is darker than the other. You take the lighter of the brown, give it a full coat, and you give the darker brown and give it a light coat on top. But whatever you do, you paint it in the same direction. In this case, left to right or right to left. No up or down, no diagonal. Only in one direction. This gives a whole bunch of bristle marks, which you usually don't want, but this case you do. When this is all done, you take a steel wool or bristle brush, and you do the exact same thing, left to right, left to right. And it gives even more lines. It gives the illusion of that wood grain. You will have to do in some touch-up work. I just use a brown Real Touch marker, but you could go back in with paint, it doesn't matter. And, fix whatever pieces have been knocked loose by the bristle brush. But it gives a really good illusion of wood grain, because all those lines, just like wood. You usually don't want to see that on a model kit, but in this case you do. Again, painting to do on the gun. They give you some stickers for these, and yes, once again, they suck. So you got to go in and do some painting. And like on the trigger, they don't give you nothing for that, so that needs painting regardless. And you have a little bit of painting to do on that little scope they give you to kind of give the illusion that it is a beam rifle, even though it's not. Well, maybe it is. Anyway. Attaching the weapons, they give you a little attachment under the side skirt armor to put the sheath for the sword. It does not tilt, which is a bit of a pain. I would have liked to have seen that tilt a little. Just goes straight back. And, of course, the samurai sword fits into the hand. No problem. Good connection. The fingers wrap around nicely. No problems. the gun, surprisingly, works pretty well. Getting it attached into the hands, a little tricky, but once you got it, you're good. And you can put it in the left or right because there's a little attachment on either side. Rock solid, no problem. It holds it surprisingly well. I don't particularly like the way it looks with it, but to each his own. But anywho, you can attach this gun onto the backpack. There's a little attachment on the right-hand side, and it just slides right in and will not fall out. So that's no problem. Next up, we have the spear. Spear on this kit is a little tricky to work with. It's not a huge problem. It can hold it with no problem, but there's no real way to keep it in place, so it's going to slide and move around. If you do two-handed, it does help a little bit, but this is one of the more awkward weapons to pose with. It can stand there and hold it, but that's about it. But on the upside, it's not going to drop it, because the hand wraps around it and never going to let it go. If you remove this little gold piece on the bottom of the lance, it'll slide through, then you reattach there, and it's on the backpack as well. Pardon me, this is the lance. The lance here connects into the hand with a super strong connection, never going to drop it. I was surprised how well this worked. Thought, this is so big you're going to have to use two hands. Nope, one hand's enough. And you can have any kind of a pose you want with that, again, as limited by the armor that's going on. And yes, that can be attached onto the backpack as well, so all accessories can go on the back. Final thoughts on this kit. I'm giving this kit a thumbs up. This is a really neat looking kit. We'll say this is a detailer's dream. If you love detail in your kit, you're in hog heaven with this kit. If you hate going in and fixing all those little details on your kit, this kit is a living nightmare for you. There's a lot of little details to fix here. But when you're done, it does look really, really cool. This isn't very posable. They do give you a lot of neat poses in the manual. So look at all the neat things you can do. And they're kind of exaggerating. If you get this on action base, I'm sure it'd get a little bit better. But this isn't quite a brick kit, but it's not very posable. You can't do a whole lot with it. But it does look really cool. But overall, thumbs up, good kit. Well, gang, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you found it informative. If you have any questions, please ask them. I will answer them as best as I can. Please stay tuned for more. Always got more reviews coming. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and one more thing. I do have one question. If he's got, a giant spear and lance and gun made out of wood, where would he get the lumber necessary for that? Why? Why do I ask these questions? Why?